We're very lucky to, we're very lucky to have Roland Varesko today from NAR. Before I introduce him, just have a couple of housekeeping announcements. Please make sure that you keep yourself on mute the entire time. The mute button is down at the bottom of your screen, and it looks like everybody is on mute. We'd love to see your face, so if you feel comfortable, please turn your camera on. I see a couple people have their camera on. It's not required since it's not CE, but we'd love to see you. This program is being recorded and it will be sent out to all members along with Roland's materials after either today or tomorrow. So take a look and make sure to share that with your staff. And it's my pleasure now to introduce Roland Varesko. Roland leads NAR's digital strategy team, which develops and manages websites, apps, social media, digital marketing, and the Real Estate Today radio show and podcast. His expertise is in combining digital marketing strategy with innovative technologies to grow market share and drive value for organizations using a metrics-driven approach. Prior to joining NAR, Roland was president of Ascendant Interactive, a digital agency serving the new home building industry, and it had national clients such as NAR, Cal Atlantic Homes, and Rockpoint Group. In previous roles, Roland has served at the executive level for several digital agencies and software companies, and we're thrilled to have you today, Roland. I'm going to mute myself out, and you can go ahead. Thanks.
Well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm speaking to you from my home in Silver Spring, Maryland, right outside the Washington, D.C. area. So that's the D.C. office of NAR right near the Capitol is where my home base is for work, but we're still mostly remote. And so you can't tell with this virtual background, hopefully. But yeah, I'm happy to be here today to talk to you about one of the tools that we've put in place. We collaborated with a company called Photofy, which has an app for content creation and for customization of assets and sharing on social media. And so when I joined a couple of years ago, actually it's 2 years this month, it was presented with challenges from Consumer Communications Committee and others saying, hey, these great assets for That's Who We Are campaign, we can download them from the website, but then we got to hire a graphic designer to put our photos in or logos. And is there an easier way to personalize and co-brand these assets and then share them on social media? So I did research on several apps. We figured we didn't want to necessarily invest in reinventing the wheel. So Photofy seemed to be the best fit in terms of simplicity, ease of use, quick 30 seconds or less, co-brand with your photo or brokerage logo or association logo, your contact information, and you can spread the messaging of That's Who We Are campaign. And it's grown since then. So I'm going to actually share my screen and go through a short presentation, and then I'll do a demo. So hopefully you all can see my screen. As I said, I'm VP of Digital Strategy. So the app really allows our members to easily personalize and share the That's Who We Are campaign on social media. And it's free to all members. It's just an added benefit that we provide. So here's an example of one of the templates. And it's at the time, Tiffany was the chair of the Consumer Communications Committee. So I'm using her example here. Basically, co-brand, share to your accounts and to your trusted social networks, clients, friends, potential clients. And it's really getting that word out there. It's really more authentic than paid advertising where you see the little sponsored. This is coming from you and your voice. And you can add copy in addition to the actual visual asset. And there's suggested copy that Photofy that we've loaded up where you can then personalize that to your voice. So as of now, we have almost 30,000 users. We'll probably hit that later this month, which is great. 130,000 pieces of content have been created. 285,000 times that content has been shared by our members, and over 200 million impressions. And that's based on average follower counts of 700 per user. And this was as of last month. So imagine buying 200,000 impressions on Facebook or on digital ad networks. It's a lot of money. And so this is a more authentic way of personalizing and sharing the campaign. I also wanted to talk a little bit about how it's expanded since the initial push of January of 2020 into other associations who have developed their own localized branded assets. You can see several of them here. New Jersey was actually the first to do their own. The example I show here is New York State, where they have their own branding that's distinctly different than That's Who We Are. Miami is coming out soon. I believe South Dakota is up next. We've also expanded it by adding libraries of shareable assets for those certifications and designations. Not all of them are on here yet because it is dependent on whether it's an internal NAR or an affiliate. So ABR we have on there, SIPs, C2EX. So if you're C2EX endorsed, you'll see an option, and I'll demo that shortly. So you can have additional galleries available to you depending on your certifications and designations. Soon we'll have the Real Estate Business Institute's 4 designations and certifications. They're working on them now. And then we also have had the That's Who We Are campaign assets translated into 5 additional foreign languages, not only for global members, but for American members and North American members who might want to communicate with their audiences in a different language. So we're constantly expanding the library, if you will. Just to show you the top 10 most popular assets so far, you can see the kind of messaging that members have chosen to share more often. Now more than ever, expertise matters. Looking to buy your first real home, look for the R. The R is very prominent. So, the campaign is basically showing consumers that, hey, a realtor is more than an agent or an app. So you can see that. We also have fair housing assets available, which members have been sharing. So it's an interesting mix of the top 10, but we have hundreds of these templates, and I'll show you that shortly. So here we go, Photofy demo. I'm now going to share my phone screen because I have to demo the app on my phone. So now you should all be seeing my phone screen. So this is the Photofy app, NAR version. So when you go to sign up on the NAR landing page on Photofy, which I'll put in the URL shortly, because if you just download the app, you're going to see a personal version, which is just a generic kind of library of templates for happy birthday, or almost like imagine greeting cards messaging available, and that's free for the most part, even though they have upsell options for like stock photo usage and things like that. But you'll notice that you're going to see a lot more on my version because I'm a super user, so I see all the libraries that people have developed. But its NAR member is kind of the official NAR library that has all the campaign templates. And so when you tap on templates, so these are the personalizable versions, we have them organized by platform, so that makes it easy. Even though you could share any one of these on any social media network, they've been optimized size-wise. So you can see there's quite a variety here. If I pick one, let's say I'll pick this one. Now more than ever, expertise matters. You can see my contact information is pre-filled because you can set it up in your profile settings so you don't have to retype it every time. It'll just pre-fill. Tap to add photo, it'll bring up your camera roll. And I have a headshot here ready to go. You can see it just pre-fills. If I wanted to override or add anything, for instance, if a locality requires a license number, you could add that here, or you could add your phone number or whatever you'd like. But you have 4 lines to play with. It could be a website address. You hit apply, done, and basically it's ready to share. And it shows which networks you can share. There's also more sharing options like e-card or text message. Surprised to see a lot of people are just texting these or emailing these customized graphics. But if you bring up Facebook, you post to Facebook, it brings up your account. You can share on the news feed or on your story. So let's say I go to the regular news feed. I can then say, you know, whatever I want here, just as you would in creating a post. It has my photo, it has my contact information, and I can post. I'm not going to do that right now, but you get the idea. And then you can always start over and post something else. Reposts are simply shareable assets, meaning they're videos and graphics ready to go. You don't have to, there's no customization really. I'll go ahead and play one for you. These are new, just added. What to consider before you buy, your must-haves. A realtor has the expertise to help you find a home that fits your needs. And these, I believe, have pre-filled copy, so suggested copy. I know there's a lot to think about when buying a home, like what's non-negotiable, hashtag that's who we are. So really ready to go, you can post. What's also nice is that there's a scheduler. So you can schedule a post. So basically I could pick the one I just customized and enter a caption, enter the date and time. So basically what we found is a lot of members teeing these up, maybe at the end of the day or in the morning. It's like, okay, I'm going to be out and about today. I don't have time, but I'm going to schedule this for noon, or I'm going to schedule this for 4, etc. So it's quite handy. And I just wanted to show you so for Instagram, we have square assets. For Twitter and LinkedIn, landscape. So they're wider and not quite as tall. We also have Facebook covers. So these are not really shareable, but you can email them to yourself and then load them up on Facebook. So here's an example. Is your agent a realtor? What else? We have Twitter covers. I don't know who's trying to call me from Syracuse. It must be spam. Twitter covers for your Twitter account. We also have some Zoom backgrounds, fair housing. We also have more of a generic, that's who we are. So we're constantly adding to these in conjunction with our ad agency who creates all the graphics for our campaign. Let me start over. I want to show you some of the translations further down here. Here's one that is in French. So we had all the messagings translated French. Also, I wanted to show an option for logo. So if you hit logo plus, I can load in an association. I just have one pre-filled here from Chicago Association. So for instance, this is where you could put Bucks County Association's logo. And you can see that's ready to go. So instead of a photo, you could put a logo or really any type of graphic. We do ask that you don't exceed the size of the That's Who We Are logo. It's part of the brand guidelines. That's why we have that nice lockup so that the creative and messaging is at the top. And then we have kind of the co-branding with That's Who We Are at the bottom. So let's see, I'm trying to see if there's some other features. I mean, that's essentially it, but I do want to show the expansion part. So as I mentioned, if you have, let's say C2EX, oops, wrong one. This is if you're a Chicago realtor, you'll see the Chicago gallery. So C2EX, this only appears, it's all done based on last name and Nerds ID when you sign up at Photofy. So it unlocks certain galleries in addition to the NAR member gallery based on what's in your member profile. So if you have a C2EX endorsement, you'll see some additional templates that lets you communicate, customize and communicate to your audience. I'm committed to excellence as a realtor and I'm ready to serve you. So here you can tap to add photo, again, your contact information, and share that on your social media networks. And again, we have it organized by platform, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can, of course, share any way you want, but we just kind of bucket them like that to make it easy. So when you're thinking of which platform to share, you'll pick the correct aspect ratio, whether it's square or not. So there's C2EX. I also wanted to show a couple other galleries. There is ABR, so accredited buyer representative. If you have that in your profile, you'll see this unlocked for you under the accounts menu. And so the messaging is different for each one of these, and slightly different fonts. It really depends on the branding for that program or designation. Let me go back. So as I mentioned, if you have, let's say, a local state or local association, for instance, New York, members in New York will also see this in addition to the NAR version. And so somebody could see up to, probably 8 to 10 galleries in their accounts option, depending on where they're a member at the state and local level and what certifications and designations they have. So this allows state and locals to deliver their own branding and messaging in addition to the That's Who We Are national ad campaign. I think that's kind of gives you the idea of how you can toggle between the different galleries and also access the main National Association of Realtors gallery. And new assets are being released usually every few months. I believe we have a new set coming sometime in August of creative assets. So this is constantly being expanded with fresh messaging. We're also working on some kind of holiday assets, so for common commemorations and holidays. So we're going to be adding this. So it's really a toolkit for our members to leverage. They don't have to go out and create their own assets as much. It's not going to solve everything. It's not going to solve all of your social media needs. However, the more we can kind of empower you with really good messaging ready to go, the easier it is for you. You don't have to spend time doing that. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing and happy to answer any questions that you might have.
You can type your questions into the chat box if you have any. Let's see.
I will paste the sign up link here in the chat. So basically that's the landing page or the sign up page where you can go to just enter your NERDS ID and your information, create an account. They'll email you a link, also text it to you. You can download the app. And as long as you log on with the same information, email and password, you'll see that the NAR version comes up of Photofy. So. Any questions, any thoughts, anything really as far as what you might want to see, or do you think this is useful? As I said, we have almost 30,000 members. We're trying to get that up considerably higher this year. So we'll have some presence coming up here at Leadership Week and then also at Annual to kind of demo it in our booth and get people excited about it.
Quick question about the cost.
It's free to members.
Right. I noticed online that there are a couple different levels. The package that is, or the level that is available to members, is that the entry level, or the other two levels
It's the
offering
business.
something different?
It's business or enterprise is what is available. And so we cover that cost. We have negotiated pricing based on tiers of users, since we didn't know how many we would have or will have in the future. So we kind of contracted with Photofy on behalf of members. So there's no fee to the member. We're covering that. It's free. So, but the equivalent functionality would be an enterprise account or business account rather.
Business, okay.
Yeah, the business pro flow is what they call it internally at Photofy. Now, if an association wants to contract with Photofy, we have negotiated pricing monthly and also a discounted yearly price, but that would only be if, let's say, Bucks County leadership would want to proceed with that, or, just like we have about 10 other state and locals right now have their own libraries, and that would be totally your messaging, whatever you put out. But the NAR kind of comes free as long as you sign up with your NERDS ID and information.
Roland,
What kind
where's
of
the site
customer
out
support
again?
is there?
Roland,
I'm
where's the
sorry?
site? Where's that site out again?
Photofy.com/NAR. I put it in the chat. What I can do is share my screen and just go there.
Great.
So let me do that. Hold on. Share screen. Let me bring up my browser. So hopefully you can see that. If I go to photofy.com/NAR, so there's a NAR specific landing page for members.
Okay.
And so this is the form. You put in your first name, last name, email, phone, and NERDS ID. Check the box that you agree to the terms and conditions to the consumer ad campaign. And then it'll basically, you download the app from the App Store or Android or iOS, sign in with the same information you did up here in terms of creating an account. And then you set up your tokens, which is basically your lines of text that pre-fill on each template. So you only have to do it once, and then you're off and running. Pick a template, personalize, and go. It's fairly straightforward, but there is also, there's a portal for video tutorials that Photofy put together for our members. I don't know, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And I'll put that in the chat as well. And I'll follow up with Lisa after this, and she can email this out to you. So this has tutorials on starting your account, using reposts, using Photofy, lots of different resources
Creating
here,
images,
using the
yes,
logo templates. And there's photo templates, logo templates, scheduling. So some webinar recordings. They do quarterly webinars, so members can sign out. So they'll send an email to all the Photofy users, and then there's webinars here of recordings of past webinars of how to use the app. So it's we try to make it as easy as possible.
Are there any other questions? Please put it in the chat or just unmute yourself.
Is there customer support?
Yes, basically it's through Photofy. There's a support portal. They used to have it down here. Oh, this is the landing page. So let me go back to just like the Photofy homepage, support. So basically they do it by tickets. So you can submit a ticket, what device you're on, your question, etc. And from what I've heard members say, they're fairly responsive. Because we definitely, that was one of the conditions that we selected. Hey, you got to be responsive to members. Like, we didn't build your app. We provide a gallery of assets and the rules for how it's customized, but you guys have to support it. And so far they've done a great job, I think.
And this is
what is-
basically a phone app?
I'm sorry?
This is basically a phone app, right?
It is intended for phone and tablets. They had a desktop version a couple of years ago, but they said the usage was so low because their audience is mostly on their phones or tablet. So it's an app that is for iPhone or Google Android, and it's for phones or tablets, but it's not on the desktop.
It's amazing. Beautiful.
How do you contact customer support? Where's the phone number? Or
Okay,
email address?
it's a link, and I can put it into the chat.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't see a phone number, but I can ask. I think they want everything in the queue. Well, there is a phone number, and there's also an email address if you want to just email directly, support@photofy.com. And then they do have a phone number as well, which I put in the chat. So, but what's nice is that you don't have to sign up for any particular plan. You just go to the NAR sign up page, and it'll automatically, after you're verified as a member, we have an API integration where it instantly confirms, yes, you're an active member or not, based on Nerd's ID and last name. And then they'll text you and or send you a link to download the app, sign in, and you should get access to the NAR version. And then any other galleries that, for certifications and designations that you might have that have been developed. We're still expanding that library, but we have about 8 of those available now.
Looks very user-friendly.
Yeah, I think it is. And that was one of the criteria really in selecting it, because there were other tools like Canva, Ripple, where I would say more advanced users. They even have probably a little more options in terms of what you can create. But for the, a quick and easy solution, 30 seconds or less, co-brand, get the message out there. We wanted to make it simple and quick. So we thought it was the best fit out of all the apps that we looked at. So what is the cost for members? It's free. Included in your membership. So
it's free, right?
Yeah, no extra cost. The only extra cost would be if, like, say, another affiliate or a state and local association, there is some cost to them, albeit it's not that much compared to advertising, to basically unleash this for their members if they want. But the NAR version asset library is constantly being updated, and so there's hundreds of templates. It'll continue to grow. And as I said, we're adding other designations and certifications, holiday assets. We're going to be putting in some consumer content, going to our houselogic.com portal, which has, tips on home buying, home ownership resources. So there's going to be some other types of content, not just kind of showing your realtor pride, but also showing your realtor expertise, being able to share kind of ready to go content to consumers.
And it gets your name out there.
I'm sorry?
And it gets your name out there.
Well, that's right. So rather than you having to worry about creating everything yourself, at least we're preloading it with stuff there you can then co-brand, just like my wife gets a magazine, American Lifestyle or whatever, but it's got the realtor photo on the cover, like it's coming from the realtor. This isn't similar. Here's the campaign messaging. Oh, there's a realtor photo. That's my realtor. So it's similar. Oh, somebody's asking business, so I'm going to say business. Sign in.
Are there any restrictions as far as it being used with Facebook between either business or personal? Can it be used on both?
It can be used on both. So you can go to the personal version of the app, and there's a whole library of free templates that Photofy has just for everybody to use. There's no restrictions really. The only reason for ours, we do lock it down a bit so that you can only customize that one area with your photo, because we didn't want people. We've seen people get quote unquote creative where their photo will take up everything, or the "that's who we are" is not in the right place or the right size. They're not using the brand colors. So for the "that's who we are" campaign, there's some strict rules as okay, photo has to be here, has to be this size. Yes, you can put whatever you want there, but we want to make it so that it's a clean layout. But if you use the personal version of Photofy, which you have access to as well, you can kind of do whatever you want. But we just wanted to follow the trademark rules.
I have to pull you back.
So. Yeah, and then I don't know if you are required to add a license number or not. I know some state and local association members at other parts of the country, like, oh, you don't require it. So, well, we don't require it because not every member in the US needs to do that. So they can put their phone number on that fourth line or third line or whatever, or you could put whatever's required locally. That's kind of up to the member to decide, based on their local rules.
And this is also available to be used on Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can text the completed graphic. Basically what it does, it saves it to your phone's camera roll. So it's a completed asset. If you look in your camera, after you've customized one, it saves it there. And from there, you can share it via email, text, however you would share a photo, essentially. But yes, you can put it on any of the social platforms.
All right, well, it looks like there are no more questions. And again, we thank you so much for your time, Roland. This is a
Pleasure.
fantastic demonstration. And if you send me the links, we'll make sure that they go out with the recording to all of our members.
Absolutely. Yeah, my pleasure.
And
Thanks for allowing me to speak to you on this, and we're excited about it.
yeah, very useful, very good information to use. And I imagine you'll be getting some more users from this program. So thanks
Oh,
again,
great.
Roland. And everybody, thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Bye, Roland.
Thanks for
Thanks,
doing this.
everyone.
All right. Thank you